Hey everybody, Scoutcrafter here again. When I first started making videos for YouTube, one of my first people I subscribed to was a channel by the name of Old Sneelock's Workshop. And it was a gentleman named Dave, and he was a really interesting, down-to-earth guy who just loved tinkering with tools, and I found a lot of his videos really interesting. And it was, just a regular production where a guy grabs the camera and he shows you how to do stuff, and that's just what I really enjoyed about it. So a few months ago, when I was going through my comments, I saw a comment from Old Sneelock's Workshop, and I really thought I hit the big time. I was like, look at this guy, he actually watched one of my videos. Turns out Dave said that he's seen more than one of my videos and that he enjoyed my videos, so we started talking. Great guy, and we decided to do a collaboration. And basically, as kind of a thank you to him, he said, what would you like? I said, Dave, I would really like to restore a tool for you as a thank you for all the videos you put out and all the instruction I received from you. So he sent me some pictures. He says, pick whatever you want. And you know me, I'm a plier guy. So Dave sent me a couple nice pliers. Let me show you what he said. Okay, here's the goodies we got from Dave. Now, first of all, we have a... this is the ones I really love. I love the fencing pliers, and they're almost like a cross between a button style and whatnot. Don't know who the maker is. Looks like there's some pattern on the handle, but again, with the rust and everything, it's hard to see. So we have that. We have a nice pair of Kleins, 1964. As you can see by the date code here, it's MNE. So that's the first quarter of 64. And these are real nice, huh? But the only problem is they're a little loose. So I guess we might have to go to the Dake. Okay, I know that's a disappointment for some of you. I'm kidding, everybody loves the Dake. And then look at these cool pliers. These are like a slip joint, but look at it's got like a square tip recess in the front. Very interesting pliers. And the good thing is we can take this off here to do these. Now Dave had done a video on Plasticoat, and I guess this was one of the pliers he did, because when you open up a can of Plasticoat, you don't want to dry the thing out, so you just grab anything. So there's some Plasticoat on here. We won't be able to keep it, but you see how this comes off, the Plasticoat. You see, that's the problem with that. You see it? That's the problem with this coating. It's not as durable as the other coatings you get from the factory. That's all I'm saying. Okay, let's get started. First thing we got to do is clean them up and see what we're looking at underneath. Okay, we're at our post wire brush evaluation. Let's take a look first of all at the fencing pliers. You can see we got some pitting issues here. You see that? Pitting. Obviously these were really rusty. You see the tremendous pitting here all along the face, all along the handle. Now, it has knurling on the handle. Now, we're going to have to figure out what we want to do with this, but just remember what the face looks like. We were able to get the jaws pretty clean and whatnot. A little bit of damage up front here. When you close it, you'll see. But other than that, looks good. Secondly, we have the Kleins. Kleins always beautiful, right? Got a couple issues here. Number one, over here we got a little bit of a lip. Seems like somebody, I don't know if it was banged or whatever there. I do not want to lose these lettering for Dave because but meanwhile I want to get this nice, so it's going to be difficult to maintain the lettering, because with me, if it's not deep enough, it comes off. But I'm going to see what I can do. And this is you can see it's a Bell system. You see it says Bell system patented, and that's because these pliers were made for the telephone company, Bell System. It was under contract with them. Now we're going to work on this one here. You can see the condition it's in. We took off those rubber handles. Okay, a couple things we have here is, one is a attempted screwdriver. This grind is just, it really, I don't know too many screws that are that thick and deep or whatever. And even if you want to use it as a pry bar for a paint can or something, it's just a little bit thick. And it's a little bit sharp here along the edges. So we're going to try and fix that to make it a little bit more user-friendly. And then we got to take them apart. So that's what we're going to do now. You see this here? That's a nut on there that we're going to use a 6-point socket. Okay, you see there's 6 points in that socket, and the reason we do that is so that you don't have to worry about stripping or rounding it off. And we're going to hit a little bit of heat on there. Now again, these usually swage down a little bit, so we're going to hit it with a little bit of heat, and then hopefully it'll back it off. Now, if you've ever been curious about how slip joint pliers work, I'm going to show you. Here's your cap nut that finishes it off. The pliers come across a part like that. Okay. Now, this is the part here that a lot of people have trouble understanding. You can't just use a regular nut and bolt. This is the most intricate part of a pair of pliers. And what it is as you can see, there's flats on two sides, and then it has a shoulder and a threaded part. And what happens is this goes into here like this, and it gets pressed in just a little bit. Okay, and then that cap nut goes over here and holds everything in place. This stays stationary, almost as if it was made like that. That way, this plier can slide back and forth without binding. It's not just a nut that you can tighten up on. The other thing, the reason there's flats on here is because that's how you adjust it from one to the other without it slipping back and forth. You position it so the round is like this, and you see the nut can't move to the left. But once you do this with the pliers to open it up, you can move it over. So that's why you have the flat and the rounds here. Very interesting design. Okay, we are at the Dake. Let me show you the setup here. Okay, I had to cut out some of the footage here, but you can see we taped 2 washers exactly over the rivets that we were going to wanted to press. Then we put it into the Dake. Now, I had to do this a few times. For some reason, this rivet just wasn't deforming. I don't know if it's Klein Superior Steel or whatnot, but I had to go up to 8 tons, which is 16,000 pounds, to get this rivet to tighten up just a little bit. It wouldn't deform. And the funny thing is that you could see there was 16,000 pounds, 8 tons, and at that weight, what was interesting, if you look at the nut, the hardened grade 8 nut that I used, look what happened to the nut. It actually squeezed the nut to a pancake. After that, we did a little belt sanding on all the pliers, going through all the grits. This is the grit and the rust and the scale and everything that comes off the belt for 3 pair of pliers. That's what it looks like. Okay, now we're reassembling the pliers. We're going to tap in. We have to tap this this bolt back in, and of course you got to use the proper hammer. And this is for my buddies over in the UK. Nice Thor. We have a rawhide side and a copper side. We're going to use the rawhide side. That's just enough that it's firm enough that you get some banging, and you won't do any damage to the nut. So you can see how nicely that works. Now you know my favorite part of the video. You remember what the pliers looked like before we started. Okay, we are finished, and I'm really happy with this project. I mean, these really came out good. And this will be a real tribute to Dave for all the work he's done in those videos he's put out. Let me show you these one at a time. First up, we have this beautiful fencing plier. And, you know, the shape of this, the design of this is just classic. I don't know who made this. There is no markings on here, but there is some beautiful texturing on the handles. And I was able to keep all that, and this really just came out nice. Also, it has some teeth back here for pulling. We did a nice finish on here. The jaws came out. Look at the teeth on that. Huh? It don't even look like this really was used. What's interesting is this thing has a little groove cut in here. So if you had to hold wire in that way or something, that's really nice. And as far as cutting, it cuts like a dream. Let's test it out. We have a piece of wire hanger here. And you could see we'll put it in and it just cuts. All 3 of these cut. They were all, I didn't even have to touch them. They were all perfectly sharp, hardly used. This is a beautiful fencing plier. Whatever it is, it's a little over 10 inches. It's just a sweetheart of a pliers. let's go to our next one. Okay, next, everybody loves these, right? Nice, beautiful pair of Kleins. And these are bell system, as you can see, bell system. And we were able to keep the entire Klein logo on there. So everything is perfect. The jaws, all we did was just touch up the one jaw to sharpen it just a little bit. I'll show you how that works again with the hanger. Again, these are, you know, this cuts like, forget it, like butter. It's unbelievable. But I didn't go crazy with sharpening because if ever Dave wants to return this to Klein to get a new pair, I don't think they take returns if you over sharpen it. So I just kept the same profile that they have. And again, the teeth of the jaws on here are pristine, beautiful, got it cleaned up. The grinds, all the grinds, just a really nice pair of pliers, huh? 1964 Kleins. Now, I didn't polish the handles, although I got them nice. I didn't polish them because I'm hoping, Dave, that you put a nice pair of Klein coats on these, because if any pliers deserve them, these do. And these are just so nice. And I know you're going to love these. I just hope you put a pair of Klein coats on here. Get the 8-inch models and put them on, and these things will be good to go. Now, lastly, we have these beautiful slip joint pliers, and very unusual. Again, no maker mark. I'm thinking they might be Crowder, though, but reground the screwdriver part. You know, remember it had all that blocky grind on there. Look how nice that is. And again, it looks perfectly original, like it would have came out of the factory. That's the way they came. So that's real nice. These handles, no reason to put any coating on them whatsoever, even though I was calling it plastic coat. It's plastic dip, but there's no reason for that on these. They're just so nice. And you know, we peened down a little bit on the nut. We also used some thread locker and polished up the nut, and you can see it just works so nice. You know, that's the way it's supposed to work. You see how easy that slips down? It takes a while to get it like that. And of course, this does have a wire cutter too, and we'll try that out here. Put that in, and you can see it cuts beautiful. These things, the side cutters always cut very nice. So another beautiful pair of pliers. Again, I wish I knew the maker, but just look how nice these are. Nice pair, and especially the jaw. This is where it's really interesting because it has that square opening that you can use, and it also has these little recesses. I mean, there's a lot going on with these pliers. Aren't they nice? Anyway, that's the three. Okay, so in closing, these are the three beautiful pair of pliers that we did as a tribute to Dave at Old Sneelock's Workshop for all the videos and information he's put out over the years to help us out, especially when we're new and we're just figuring out how things are done. He really puts it into a simple way. Please go over there, check him out, tell him I said hello, and I'll have a link in the description. This is for Dave. And thanks very much for everybody for watching and for tuning in, and I really appreciate it. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.